live, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Real Estate. I'm your host, I'm Ray. And we have some exciting news. NAR, I mean, we're in a new era. We're going to be talking about the new era from NAR coming from their conference. Zillow says housing is crashing. Is it really crashing? Is that actually happening? And we got tons of stories today. The strongest buyer's market in over a decade. So why are buyers pulling back? We'll be talking about that. MLS access, if you're a real estate agent and not a realtor, or as the public likes to say, realtor, you can have access to the MLS. I know how many of you just cringed when I said realtor. And we have a new layout. So I've got a new toy. It's going to be very distracting, and I've already tested it out a couple of times, and it's interesting. But there's a new layout from StreamYard that allows me to stream vertically to Instagram, and then I can keep the horizontal layout on every other platform. So far, I like it, but it kind of does something weird. I'll show you guys on the first article. Whenever I share the first article, it does something kind of funky there. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining. This is episode 341 of This Week in Real Estate. It's hard to believe we've been around that long. We're nearing the end of the year, so get your predictions for next year ready. We'll have the prediction show in late December, going into January 2026. Wow. If you're joining us live, you can also comment, and I can talk about your comment. I can display it across the board, just like Olivia. He said, I don't know about home, but I see a lot of people worried about Bitcoins. Are people really worried about Bitcoins? And he says, and I'm first. Oh, wow. On Instagram, it shows your comment at the top. This is interesting. What's up, Pratesh? Pratesh is joining over on Instagram too. Yeah, I like it. But here's what happens. Like when I share the article, I'll show you the view. I think I have to set up separate multi-views because when I share the article, it does that on Instagram. It does this little bitty, I wish I could, oh, that would be screen inception if I shared my screen, I might try it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. No, I can't do it because I have to stop screen sharing to show my screen. Anyway, on Instagram, it doesn't look great when I share an article. Let's just say that. I'll have to play with it a little bit. We can put up with it some today. I think I will probably use this view a lot today because that tends to work a little bit better on Instagram with the new layout. But yeah, it had me like as a really thin sliver on the side of the screen. And then they had the article in a really small box. So we'll be playing with it some. What's up, Dusty? Dusty's watching on YouTube. Hey, look, I made it today. Yeah, thanks for joining live. And shout out to the replay queue. I do read your comments on YouTube. Why does stutter so much there? I do read your comments on YouTube, and I appreciate it when you make the comments on the replay. So shout out. And this is also actually a podcast. Most of the people that watch the show listen to the show, and they listen to the show through their favorite podcatcher online. So you guys are always free to do that. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. There. That's nope. It's like crooked to me. Is it crooked to you? No? It's fine to you? Okay. It's a little, all right, whatever. That's what OCD is, people. All right, so let's, I guess we're just going to do it then. All right, we'll do a picture-in-picture maybe. No, that's too small. Picture-in-picture is too small. It's not going to work. We got to do it. Ooh, I wonder if I did this side by side. What about this version? Is that better? No, well, maybe. Maybe this version works on, I got to give it time to load over on Instagram. What do you Instagrammers think of about that one? Yeah, that works. Okay, we'll use this. Today we'll use this and I'll work on it a little bit. Realtor Kale, a real broker. What's up, man? He said, easy there. You're tweaking my neck. Yeah. No. All right, so let's get into it. And I have, Right when I say let's get into it, I don't do it. I know some of you are like, you say let's get into it. I do have some fun Thanksgiving backgrounds. Maybe I'll bring those next week. I'm not going to do the Thanksgiving backgrounds this week. They have new sounds also. I don't know. Let's see what happens. They have look at that. New sounds. This is totally useless. They're like trying to make StreamYard with a soundboard over there. So, I don't know. Okay. Let's go. Let's do it. Dawn of a new era. Here's how NAR says it's changing for its members. What I found most fascinating with the dawn of a new era discussion is that the article is based on a study. The changes are based on a study. And they did the study in a way that I personally cannot stand studies are done. And it's in a weird place that you don't just select, you don't list your favorites. You say what's most important, least important, or not important. And when you do that, everyone selects everything is important. And it's the least efficient way of really knowing what people think and feel about your agenda or about your thing. It's the most disingenuous way to collect data. So let's take a look. NAR's plan for the future revolves around building trust through transparency, modernizing tools and data, and strengthening ethical standards. In a closed meeting, a group of 64 members of the NAR Executive Committee voted unanimously to approve the 3-year strategic plan. The plan revolves around modernizing tools and data, clarifying how data is shared with members, being more transparent, and strengthening standards for the industry. The plan will be implemented as part of an ongoing process starting Jan 1. Cooper Skelton's here. What's up, Cooper? Christy. What's up, Christy? Uncle Ray Ray. NAR CEO Nakia Wright said in a statement that the plan marks the beginning of the organization's effort to embark on the biggest transformation in real estate history. Gonna clip that quote. Let's see. Let's see if these things are actually going to change in a way that's historic. The new 12-page plan includes 24 initiatives, many of which appear to be a continuation of what NAR has previously done. Whoa. Let's not put down the plan so fast. Are you kidding? A continuation of what has previously been done? No, you misunderstood. We're going to embark on the biggest transformation in real estate history. And you mean to tell me that much of it is what has already been done? A shorter project would be, how do you stand up a meeting with legal experts around the country? Some of them could be affiliated with brokerages, in-house counsel, or their external counsel, to really begin to debate the X's and O's of how some people think things are antitrust compliant and some people don't. Instead of sort of being at an impasse, you set up these meetings around the country to begin to bring those voices, to begin to bring those voices in and collaborate on how people are thinking about continuing to de-risk the entire portfolio. I know of all the things I wanted NAR to do, getting all the legal counsels of all the brokerages together to decide what's anti-competitive and what is not is on it. I mean, that's of all the things they could do to help me as a realtor, that one is the one that I really am concerned about. A longer project, NAR will move to a zero-based budget approach that requires expenses to be justified in which income minus expenses amounts to 0. It's also going to spend it all, I guess. A lot of companies do not do zero-based budgeting because of how difficult it is. I think like every family does this every month. What do you mean how difficult it is? What also isn't new, you got to love the shade Inman's throwing here. What also isn't new is NAR is leaning into the support of the three-way agreement that requires members to join a state, local, and national association. Dusty says Dave Ramsey just perked up. Some in attendance describe, but while everything NAR laid out isn't necessarily new, the plan and the build-up to its release showed that NAR had been focused on making sure its members know it's doing its best to listen to them and promising to improve. Okay. A lot of you, I see a lot of the comments over on Instagram, the shaking my head and the relocation gal. I see you.
NAR has a significant comms issue, and they always have.
Yeah.
I mean, I fear that if they go away, we don't know what we're going to be missing, because I have the feeling that they do a lot more for us than we think, and especially through Washington. But I could be wrong. Maybe it is an empty suit, but zero-based budgeting is what you do when you're under the microscope. When your membership has faith in you, they give you faith by showing you through the pocketbook. But I think it's a communication problem more than anything. And it has been for so long, despite the money they spend on outward marketing.
Yeah.
I'm not so quick to throw them out, the baby with the bathwater, though, because I do think the whole problem is that they're just so friggin' huge. Nobody can put the reins on it, even if you're leadership.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you in part. I know they do more for us, but I don't know. I think a lot of us are familiar with like the lobbying for housing rights and things like that they do. They are a big arm. They could, a lobbying arm that swings a lot of weight because of the money that we give them. So I think I can see that. J Mark says, LOL, listening to us? Question mark. Jay, you'll have to see they're obviously listening to us. And I could show you they're listening to us by the study they conducted, the questions they asked, and the responses they got. It's obvious that they were listening to us once you see the study. Okay, let's keep going. Here's the strategic plan in brief. According to the plan, these are the high-level commitments from NAR. Modernizing real-time market reports for members. Creating a new legal group to reduce the risk for the industry. Improving NAR's budgeting process to add trust and transparency. Maintaining the three-way agreement and aligning state, local, and national realtor organizations on the role of each. Improving the realtor brand through social media and national ad campaigns. Can someone tell me how this is different than anything they've ever done? What I see is throw a bone through NAR type reporting. Throw a bone to that's to agents. Throw a bone to the agents through NAR RPR type reporting. Throw a bone to the brokerages saying, hey, stick with us. I know we told you to do stuff in the past that you just got sued for and had to pay millions and millions of dollars, but we're going to have a new legal group that'll really be able to help. And then for all those that don't like how we're spending the money, we're going to show you how we're spending the money. So we're throwing you a bone too. But hey, all of the little local politicians that are worried about your local board falling apart, don't worry. We'll maintain the three-way agreement, aligning state, local, and national realtor organizations. So we're going to throw you a bone, local politicker. And to scratch the itch of all the consultants we've hired and all the family members, allegedly. I don't know if they're family members or not, but it kind of seems shady that these consultants are getting millions and millions of dollars for something that I could have told them not to do. Improving the realtor brand through social media and national ad campaigns. I don't see anything historic on this list. I see everything disappointing and normal and bureaucratic. So, why should we be excited about this? What am I missing? Drop it in the comments. What's the thing on this list that you're like, oh, no. On that list, this is my favorite thing. What is it? Relocation Girl said, they became the behemoth they cannot control. The Realtor Party does not work locally and in DC for homeowners' rights. Yes, the Realtor Party does work locally in DC for homeowners' rights. Clint Peters Real Estate on Instagram says, this time we really try to look out for you. This time, this is the time. All other times we maybe kind of, but no, this time we're really looking out for you. That's funny. All right, let's keep going down. NAR staffers implement the plan January 1st will report to right. Tailoring to broker owners. Now committed to providing tools and information tailored to large, medium, and independent brokerages. In the past, I think members felt disconnected from NAR's work. This is what you were talking about. But recently, there's been a noticeable effort to communicate more clearly, demonstrate value, and rebuild trust. The renewed focus on transparency, leadership, and accountability and the rollout of the new strategic plan have all been encouraging. Jack, I think that's kind of what you were talking about, the problems with the communications. But what happens when you increase communications of stuff that people don't necessarily get excited or agree about? It just discourages people.
You said it was encouraging. Now you're saying it's discouraging.
That was the quote.
I know.
It wasn't me.
I was going to say before you even said it that it's discouraging instead of encouraging. But I agree. Again, I don't know the answer, and it has to be size.
Yeah.
It has to be just a big bloated organization that doesn't even know what they're talking about and how to say it.
Well, all of you are welcome to go download your own copy of the 2026 through 2028 strategic plan so you can see exactly how fast we'll get to where we're pointing. Let's see if I can find the study in this. Here's the study. All right. So here's how they are listening to you, J Marks. J Marks said, I'm willing to give them a chance. Okay. All right. Here's your chance. Rail and Consulting. What would Ray do? They should totally pay me for that. Dusty says it sounds like they polled themselves. Okay. Well, look, no, they didn't. They polled people. They polled real estate agents. For the audio listeners, there's a chart with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. Each of those 8 questions had 3 potential responses. Somewhat or very valuable. So I guess those 2 responses were added together. Neutral or not at all and not very valuable. So then they have this list of questions, I guess, or maybe their priorities. Number 1, help realtors thrive in their day-to-day business. Number 2, drive collaborative solutions and impact. Number 3, protect and advance the legal interest of realtors. Number 4, advocate for property ownership for all. Number 5, build a proactive organization. Build a proactive organization. Number 6, rebuild partnership foundations. Number 7, recommit to professionalism. Number 8, cultivate trust in the Realtor brand. All of these have over 70%. 70% of respondents marked somewhat or very valuable to all of these. Isn't that ridiculous? I think this is the worst way to have a survey. Here are several good things and vague things. What's important to you? No one's going to put that building a proactive organization is not at all or not very valuable. Yeah, we all want a proactive organization. Yet everyone wants all of these things. How did that even begin to guide that list of 5 or 6 things that no one's excited about? Okay. These findings guided the strategic plan priorities. Where they just list them from 83% to the low of 73%. Could someone actually do a real study of realtors and what they think is important? And on that list, could you put a national MLS that sends leads back to the listed agent?
And so that's where it's too big. That's where it's too big.
Yeah,
because of the agreements that they have with all their MLSs. And I was going to say that earlier, but then that's a great example of how they're too big and why they can't get out of their own way. Maybe we do our own survey.
Yeah, that's what I think. Jason of Area, what's his name? Haybar of AREA. They should do an actual study of realtors and commission it. Like call 1 million people, call 1 million realtors and have on the list national MLS and see what happens. I guarantee if they would have added national MLS to this list, people would have put neutral on everything else. And national MLS would have been number 1.
And they would have shown that they're in tune with their membership.
Yeah. And then they could have said, hey guys, we're going to take on a 5-year project. I'm not even going to be here when it finishes, but this is what you want. We're going to do it.
It might work. It might not work, but we hear you.
Yeah. I would rather them spend that money and fail than try to do another 3D logo or terrible ad campaign.
100%. And maybe it's not just one person that does it. Maybe there's 5 groups that do this survey and everybody has their hand in it. And it's proven to the NAR that, your members are speaking to you, but they have to do it through a different portal.
Oh, I would love for like a group like Broke Agent Media and Inman to get together and commission an actual survey of realtors, and they send it out to their whole list, like realtors. Here's your chance to actually tell NAR what's up, and they have all kinds of options out there.
Let's go. Byron works for my company. I'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'll text him. Right,
and Brad, we can get in touch with these people. Although I don't think
we got it.
Brad's is involved, but yeah. Yes, action.
Here's their commitment: building the future of member experience, help realtors thrive in their day-to-day business. NAR will enhance tools and training and support members rely on, enabling realtors to grow their business, improve their well-being, and serve clients with confidence. I can't read all of it. You guys can go download your plan if you want to see the plan that y'all are all committed to because you pay dues. All right. That's kind of the same article that we have over here on the nar.realtor/magazine that is no longer in print. That's over here as well. Relocation Gal says LFG, pardon my French. I mean, what? It's painful to read. I know it's painful to read. That I know. But they announced it on their website, how happy they are about it. So, and I think this is so funny. They're really promoting this study, which is just bureaucratic BS, man. It's so It's so bad.
This just goes, that study just goes to show that it's more political than anything else. That's a political study.
Yeah.
That's all that is. They want to give you two options to be positive, two options to be negative, something in the middle, neutral, and they're going to go with whatever it leans towards the most.
Yeah.
It's a political.
They should have lined them up and said, what's most important to you? Line them up. Line them up and add National Home Search and see what happens. It would be like 99% National Home Search. Everything else is not even noticeable. Hell, I don't even care about the budget. Just do the NAR thing and you can do whatever the crap budget you want. I don't care. I need the national MLS. NAR, national MLS. And I don't really care how you do the budget. Okay. Well, I've spoken my piece. One day, guys. One day it'll get here. I'll make the prediction. And then at the beginning of that year, we'll see. And it'll be like, oh, Ray was right this year. But I'll continue.
Speaking of predictions.
I know, show's coming up. Y'all
here it comes.
Y'all get them ready. Okay. Here's some other things that happened this week in NAR. NAR scores a victory in a buyer commission lawsuit. What? A judge in the home buying class action lawsuit known as Batten has gifted the National Association of Realtors and their defendants a incremental win. Hunt granted NAR and additional defendants Anywhere Real Estate, Remax, and Keller Williams their motion to strike down the case's class certification status. The motion was granted without prejudice, meaning that the plaintiffs can refile with new proposed class. Class certification had been called into question by NAR and other defendants because the antitrust claims had already been settled in the Burnett class action lawsuit. That lawsuit dealt with alleged price fixing and conspiracy to inflate commissions, but was levied by home sellers, not home buyers, as in the Batten case. So this is kind of what we were saying too. It doesn't make sense to have a class action lawsuit saying that buyers paid more when the whole class action lawsuit was settled, saying that sellers paid more. So yeah, they'll probably try to refile.
Ray, we're hearing about trouble with audio on Instagram.
Oh, there's audio on Instagram issues?
Mia is is on stage if she wants to tell us what that's all about.
I wonder. Hang on, I can listen.
Oh, you're going to let me talk? Yes.
What's up, Mia?
Hi, Ray. I'll be nice. Anyway, the audio and the video, it just stopped and you're like frozen. And then it came up with this thing that said
Relocation Gal is still in the comments, and Clint Peters said, I think it's on you. I think you have to refresh yours.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Because everyone's saying it's still working over there.
Okay. That's okay. I'm here. I'm on both.
Yeah, you got it. You called in. Thanks for calling in to show me.
Oh, you're so welcome, Ray.
Yeah, unplug it in and plug it back in. See if that works.
It's like the Hubble telescope, right?
That's right. Okay, well, we'll see if they refile. I predict they're going to refile somehow and try it again, but because it wasn't dismissed with prejudice, it was dismissed without prejudice, so they do have a chance to refile there and try to get it again. We have another NAR news. This is like NAR News Week because of the conference. NAR repeals the rule requiring membership for MLS access and leaves the decision to locals. So if your local board still currently requires you to be a member of the board to be in the MLS, then you still will have to be. But across the nation, NAR repealed the rule requiring membership for MLS access. Now, the reason they did this was to avoid the lawsuit. There are already lawsuits out there. There's probably more going to be filed saying, well, we used to have to do this, so pay us back, but we'll see. The rule is now changed to avoid future legal battles. My question is, does that mean that your local board could easily be sued for this now? If NAR is like, hey, we don't want to be we don't want to be sued for forcing you guys to do this. Doesn't that suggest that you could be sued by your local board? Or you could sue your local board for this? The organization specifically voted to repeal a rule, policy statement 7.7 from its MLS handbook, stating the NAR was firmly and unequivocally committed to the principle of requiring membership for access to Realtor-affiliated MLS. The vote took place on Sunday. It's a matter of local discretion, is what they say now. So, yeah. For a lot of people, this may be the only reason why you're in NAR. So if the local board says, yeah, you don't have to be a member of the local board, I wonder what's going to happen. We had a little chat on the WhatsApp group and the contributor WhatsApp group about some of the other benefits. And so, like some MLSs or some boards cover the cost to forewarn. Some, which is the thing that you can do like background checks on leads. Some boards get the paperwork, so you don't have to draft paperwork. But I mean, the main reason why I was a member of NAR is for MLS access and the RPR. I think it's one of the best things they've ever done was NAR RPR. But I don't know. If my local board said I didn't have to be a member, I'd have to do some real thinking.
They also have a deep discount at office seats.
Girl, that's like the same discount you can get by just being a business member.
No.
I'm pretty sure it is. They used to have discounts at all kinds of places, and we don't anymore. Lowe's used to have a discount. I don't think the Lowe's Realtor discount exists anymore. But that was actually a good one because, you know, you could go tell your clients like, hey, go use my NAR member discount. Go get your new fridge. I used that several times.
I didn't know we had that.
Yeah, I don't think we do anymore. I think it's gone.
What if they do something about healthcare?
I mean, I think everyone wants that right now.
Let's not get carried away, Mia.
Yeah. Obama fixed that several years ago, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Realtors reject the proposal to require disclosure of more referral fees. Y'all remember the lawsuit that's going on right now as I sips the tea?
Uh-huh.
The one that's like, hey, we're going to sue you because you didn't tell us that we were paying Zillow 40% or 30%. Well, the Realtors reject a proposal to require disclosure of those referral fees. The proposal would have amended the Realtor Code of Ethics to expand on what sources of revenue must be disclosed to clients. It passed one vote, but was rejected in the final round. Shortly after the vote, a group of local delegates known as the delegate body rejected the proposal. And as a result, the change to the Realtor Code of Ethics won't be made. The recommendation was to amend Article 6 to expand transparency by ensuring that real estate referrals are disclosed to clients and customers. So Realtor says, you know what? We are not worried about being sued for this. We would rather our clients not know. Let's, in the most transparent way, vote to conceal. What? I mean, come on, people. You should, if you don't want to get sued, you should probably tell people where it comes from. I'm not an attorney. I've stayed at a Holiday Inn. I'm going to play a clip from Miss Glennda Baker. This clip was clipped by Hawks_Steve over on Instagram. And it's Glennda Baker on the podcast. Let me share sound. Y'all listen to this. She's talking about Zillow, Zillow Flex, Flex Partners. Let's listen.
brokerages. I hope they made a shit ton of money selling all those leads because they
it's
are going to
about
need it in
underquote.
attorney fees.
I don't disagree with you, though. That's the problem.
You can write it down that Glennda Baker said within 12 months, I guarantee you that those super teams that were those Zillow flex teams, they are going to be drawn into these class action lawsuits. And I hope you are ready to write the check. And I think that you could lose your license. I'll be honest with you. I think you could lose your license on it. That brokerages.
Well, what do you guys think? Do you think these brokerages and these big teams will be pulled in to the class action lawsuits? And now the National Association of Realtors votes not to disclose. That's bad. That's a bad look, man. And
I don't think
there's people in the comments that are completely inaccurate information here. Zillow Flex asked home loans to be presented as an option, not mandatory to work with. Now we know from other team leaders and people in the DMs that some are claiming that Zillow is scoring people based on those services. And Zillow has said on a slide deck that they're scoring people based on how they refer those. So that is a quid pro quo. But it would be interesting if those flex referrals are not appropriately disclosed through the process. Is it going to lead to this lawsuit where the flex agents are brought in and not just Zillow?
I think they will be. If they complied, then they will be, knowing that it was wrong to do so. It's illegal. Doesn't matter who's telling you to do it. It's still illegal.
Relocation Gal said it's mandatory here in SF Bay. Interesting. It's nice to dream. You're funny. Dusty Martin says,
what all the lawsuits are.
Oh, wait, you broke up. I didn't hear the first part of your phrase. What'd you say?
I said, in a world of lawsuits, why not pile on?
Yeah, pile on. That's how you solve everything, isn't it? You just, something passes and you just wait for the lawsuit. Dusty Martin says, I'm unsure, but there was clearly some side deals made with these teams in Z, while Z continued to charge single agents way more and not delivering the leads for said payments. And I'm pretty sure brokers and agents are supposed to be aren't supposed to be colluding behind closed doors to shut out others. They are a broker now. Yeah. That's what makes this all really kind of weird, because Zillow is a broker now. So
yeah. Oh wow. So that's collusion. That's man. And what if those flex teams pile on and sue Zillow for basically forcing them, quote unquote, them to meet these requirements to be a part of that.
Yeah. And
they gave them an incentive by giving them a lower fee to do all of that.
Yeah.
Wow. This could get really ugly. I hope Glennda's right. I hope she really is.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of anti-Zillow out there that's like, man, I hope Glennda. I mean, look at all the popcorn in the comments. If I was a Zillow Flex agent right now, I would be a little concerned, for sure. For sure. If I was a Zillow Flex agent that had referred Zillow services, I would be out. I would quit. I'd be out of Zillow Flex 100% because of this lawsuit. Donna Lucky says, consumers, I believe, have a right to transparency. I'll let them know when I pay an agent for a referral. I think it's good to be exposed. Yeah, I agree. And if you're paying a company or a relocation company, they should know. I actually talked to a seller not too long ago. He was using us, which is great. I love that he was using me. And he said he was actually asking for a discount. And I was like, no, I'm not going to give you a discount. He was like, but these other agents said they're going to give us a discount. It's like, well, I'll be happy to give you a discount if I could use their marketing plan. I'm like, well, they didn't have one. I'm like, yep, exactly. So he decided to go with us. And then later down the road, he's like, can I ask like why you were so adamant about not getting a discount? It's like, well, first I pay a lot for the marketing that I do for you. But secondly, you came through a referral source. So I owe a 30% referral from whatever I make from you to this other company. So I just can't even do it. Like there's no way possible I could help you because I can't afford to help you if I were to also cut my commission. And he said, I didn't know that you had to pay that company I went through. And I said, you didn't? And he said, no. I said, it wasn't disclosed to you anywhere? And he said, no. I said, isn't that interesting? So it's not disclosed on that side of it. He didn't see it disclosed anywhere. But I think that's where it should be disclosed. I think it should be disclosed on the referring person's website or whatever. Like, hey, do you agree to be sent your info to be sent over there? We're going to make 40% or 30% or 25% of whatever that agent makes off of you. There should be an agreement. But if there is an agreement, it will probably be in the form of some kind of really long, complicated legal disclosure that no one reads. It just says, yes, check yes, yes, check yes, yes, go. That's what it'll be. It'll be worthless. So they still won't know.
Okay. So why, as a referring agent, would you not tell those people that? Like, what's the benefit?
Because you don't, so some people think that if they're giving up 40% of, what that agent makes, that they're going to get a subpar agent. And that is true in some cases. But
sure,
as a referring agent, why wouldn't you want to tell them they're going to pay me? If you don't have a relationship with that person and you didn't form a relationship with that person, maybe it's just somebody that clicked on your website, but hey, they were trying to get to Fayetteville, North Carolina, not Fayetteville, Arkansas. And I'm like, hey, will you take this lead, Matt? And the Matt in North Carolina, obviously, he's like, yeah, I got that. And I get a referral on them, but I didn't have that person ever signed anything. They don't even know who I am. If I were to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm going to send you to my agent partner, Matt, they're going to pay me 25%, whatever they make. That person's probably be like, no, what? I just clicked the wrong city. No, I'm not going to do that. So I think that's that's going to stop a lot of that stuff. It's also going to stop a lot of those companies that keep texting all of us saying we have 10 qualified leads in your city now and a rate of 20%. It's going to stop all that stuff too. If that disclosure was forced, but the only way it'll be forced is once it goes through and somebody gets sued for it. So I think those are the main reasons, Matt. If you have a good with somebody, they want you to get paid. It's not a big deal. But if you don't have that relationship, I think that's where the problem lies.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm just trying to understand why. Okay, I'm going to send you a referral, Ray, and I'm going to tell my clients on this side, hey, I'm going to send you to Ray. Ray's a great.
Oh, you cut out. You cut out right when you were saying how great I was. What?
I stopped at great. That was it. No, I'm going to send you to Ray's great agent. Blah blah blah. And yes, he will be paying me a referral fee because of the relationships that I manage. I mean, how is this any different than you going to Smoothie King and sending a referral code to anyone else? You're going to get a discount. They're going to get a discount. Like, I know that's a bad example, but I'm just saying, like, I work really, really hard on these relationships to manage them. And then shouldn't I be benefiting from that as well?
I think that's
a great benefit to my client.
The main reason why it's maybe different is because the size of the purchase in most cases and it's life-changing money, life-changing situation. Refers you out to their favorite ortho. Isn't there a referral that's passed? And is that referral disclosed? And should it be disclosed?
Well, let's go back to your story. And it feels like the client that you were working with felt that there was a chance that they were missing a benefit, or maybe even people might think some level of service, if you're not getting paid what you would typically get paid without a referral.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what some people think.
I mean, you might have cut them a little deal on the commission if you weren't paying out 30%, is what it sounded like.
Yeah. I mean, let's say in the example I told you about the person that's just referring somebody to Fayetteville, North Carolina instead of Fayetteville, Arkansas. I mean, if I'm that client, I may say, well, I'll tell you what, I don't mind if you collect, but I want you to kick back to me 10%. So instead of taking 25%, take 15%. And I'll let you have that 15%, but I want that agent to kick me back 10%. Why not? You're getting 15% for doing nothing.
Well, okay, so I've also had that happen.
You have had that happen?
Where, yeah, I got a referral from an agent in Florida for their clients that were buying a townhome here in Atlanta. And he said, look, instead of a 25% referral fee, just give it back to my clients in closing costs or a reduction in your fee or whatever. And I said, as long as you're okay with that, and you'll put it in writing, by the way, and as long as the client's okay with that, and they're okay signing that piece of writing that you just made, I'm down. That's fine. I'm totally cool with that.
I've had that happen from the agent asking for that. I've never had a consumer ask for it.
No. Right. Yeah. I've only had the agent ever ask for it. The clients, they're all willing to pay more. That's just all of my clients. I mean, how it works.
My client, they love paying. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting thought. What's going to happen in the future then if the disclosure of those referrals have to be made? Because if the disclosure of those referrals have to be made in the future, then I think you're going to see a lot more of that kind of thing. And you're going to see a lot less random referral business. Rando referrals are going to go by the wayside. All right. You ready to talk about the economy? We spent all that time on NAR rule changes. Isn't that crazy? We go, like sometimes there's a week where there's just nothing that happens and then suddenly, boom, NAR rule changes. Tim Macy texted me. He was like, how do I get on your call? And I sent him the link and he hasn't joined yet. So what, Tim, check your text. And thanks for listening to the show. There he goes. Tim Macy joined. You haven't been on Clubhouse in a minute, bro. You gotta, where is he? I don't see. If y'all see him down there, bring him up. I see that he joined, but I don't see him on my list. So if you guys see him on the list, just pull him up. There he is.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him. Tim Macy on the stage.
What's up, Timmy?
I'm still trying to remember how to use Clubhouse, but I'm happy to be here. It's good times.
What's going on, dude? I'm glad you're here. Thanks for listening.
Dude, I was just all about the heated referral debate. I mean, that was an interesting concept. But I know we're trying to move on to other topics, so I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, I want your take on it because you do a lot of referral business now, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all my business is referral. And I think the hesitancy on disclosing it should point at an issue. Like, why wouldn't we disclose it to our client? Why would we have any trouble disclosing something like that to our client? And I think it's because most people feel like a lot of their clients would feel weird about knowing that they're making money on the deal. And look, I'm with you guys. Like, I never disclosed to a client that I was getting 25% of the commission. But on the same hand, if it changed the conversation, then maybe there's an issue there. And so, yeah, if it feels weird to disclose it,
you
shouldn't be disclosing it. Yeah.
If it feels weird to say something, you should probably say something. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. So
I remember when we used to get kickbacks from lenders and from title just for recommending them.
Yeah, compensation.
whatever.
Rather than a
Long time
kickback.
ago.
Yeah, home warranties. I remember home warranties used to be
Yep.
$400 to $450, and you get like $100 kickback on it. And
Yep.
now home warranties are $700, and they don't pay you anything.
Yep. Yeah, and they were like trips. I mean, my gosh. I mean, some of these companies used to put your name in a hat, and at the end of the year, they were doing they were sending the winner on a trip. I mean, they weren't
days.
small things. I know, right?
But
No more for that.
what I will say,
I remember that. Zillow company too. I gave out I got an award. That was it. The reload company got all the money.
I will say, I kind of get excited about changes like this in my own weird way because it makes me look at my own process and figure out how to improve it. So if I'm referring a deal to Ray, it's no longer just like, hey, Ray, here's my client. Thank you. Send me, hope to see a check for a couple $1,000 from you at some point. No, now it's like, okay, this is my partner, Ray. We're going to help you through this process. We're going to, like, I gotta make my pitch better. I got to make my value better for these people I'm referring. And, you know, figuring that out, I think we'll end up with a better product in the end.
I agree. I think it's gotta be better in the end, because what is happening now can't continue as litigious as everyone is getting. It's just going to keep winding up in court. So,
and think about it, and I'm sure you guys already hit on this, so I apologize in advance. But if something popped up every time before somebody hit contact agent on Zillow, and they understood that whatever agent they contacted was going to give them 40% of the commission, they would probably stop and go to Google and find an agent that they would rather not have Zillow take 40%. Like, nobody gets on Zillow, scrolls Zillow, goes to hit select agent and say, you know what? Zillow's worth this thousands of dollars they're going to make on me. Like, no consumer thinks that because they don't know it. And so any transparency there, I think, helps everybody.
Well, I'm wondering, did you hear the Glennda clip that I played earlier, Tim?
I did. You're talking about the teams getting sued one?
Yeah. I think that's the only thing that's going to change all of it, though. That's the thing that's going to bring about the disclosure.
Yeah, but I don't think, I don't know if we've already done it. I don't think teams are getting sued. Like, I've seen those processes, and I mean, they're all pretty, I don't know. They seem pretty clear on.
The teams that would get sued are the same ones that would be sued for Rocket, for any of those that are not disclosing the relationship and still making that referral. That's where it could come in.
Yeah, but I think they're mostly going to go after the big companies. I don't think they're going to start coming after individual teams.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's the consumer, man. If the consumer feels burned by their team, they're going to roll their team up into that suit, just like builders were being rolled up into the buyer lawsuits. You know, just my take. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, let's talk econ. Dun, dun, dun. Wait, I've got two comments over on. Let's see. Dusty Martin says, always get clients who find me themselves. Then a family member calls up after I've signed the buyer agency agreement saying, family member won't use me anymore unless I pay for the referral. Yeah, I've had that happen a couple of times. I actually had one guy say that his daughter was a real estate agent. And I was like, look, this cost me money, but she should refer you to me. He was like, what? So we did the referral. And then they had another family member that sold. And that family member, she was like, you don't really have to. Just do this smaller amount. It's like, okay, thanks. But yeah, that's the way. I think that's the way it should work. So I'm not broken up about it. Just send me more stuff. It's fine. It's fine. I would hope that if my brother contacted an agent and started working with that agent, and that agent found out I was a real estate agent, and my brother never talked to me about it, they would be like, hey, I'm going to throw you a bone. Remember who I am. Remember where I serve. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to send you everything I got, bro. So I'm not too upset about it. All right. Zillow. They're back in the news, but this time they're in the news for what they think is happening to the housing market. Zillow, famously of their maybe not so accurate home estimates is now telling consumers that home values have dropped. What? And I lost. Okay, I'm going to use this scene right here. See if this works. Share in the article. Boom. All right. For whatever reason, now I'm on a different side. And I don't know why I did that, y'all. It put me on a, I wonder if I can edit it live. No. So I have no idea. I'm on a different side of the screen than I was on originally when I was sharing. Something happened. I'll figure this new layout out for Instagram. So, all right, there you go though. All right, Zillow says 53% of homes lost value. What? More than 53% of homes lost value within the past year. That's the highest share since 2012, according to the new data from Zillow, and marks a shift that many homeowners are feeling for the first time in a decade. Zillow's analysis makes one thing clear: the market is cooling in ways that people can see on their screens and feel in their neighborhoods, but this is a correction after 6 years of rapid appreciation, not the beginning of a collapse. The trend is real. Let's see. Values are flattened nationally, but most properties have also come down from their current recent peaks with an average drawdown of 9.7%. So a correction, remember, is 10%. But for nervous homeowners, it's not all doom and gloom. This is what Byron Lazine says of Broke Agent Media. What we're seeing is that they've lost value, paper value. I always say that about equity. Equity is worthless until you're using it for something. Unless you're pulling that money out and using it for something, selling a home, maximizing the equity through the sale of dollars into the bank, your equity doesn't bring you revenue in your daily life. So they've lost paper equity, theoretically. Kind of what values have declined and the loss for those homeowners. The national home value appreciation has been flat for the past year. I mean, this was bound to happen. You have years and years of run up. At the end of the run up, you're going to see a flattening of home price gains, and in some markets you may see a decrease, and that's what they're seeing. So it feels fairly normal that you would see this. It does mean there's the underwater homes that we talked about, I think, on last week's show. So there are going to be some homeowners that are underwater and can't sell right now because they're trying to sell and buy too close. Okay, I'm going to go to the next article. That does mean that this is the strongest buyer's market in over a decade. This is the article I would green screen in front of this week. It's the strongest buyer's market in records dating back over a decade. I don't know, what does it say in records dating back? It's like they have something prehistoric or something. It's just a decade. This is the strongest buyer's market in over a decade. Would be a real smooth headline. Why do they say in records dating back to over a decade? What's going on? Okay. Here, let me be the editor.
It's like you need a powdered wig and
that's right.
and a big book in front of you.
Somebody is like carbon dating the houses out there, and
where's my quilled pen?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like Indiana Jones's family discovering the first home price drop. There was an estimated 36.8 more home sellers than buyers in the U.S. We define a market where there's over 10% more sellers than buyers as a buyer's market. When sellers outnumber buyers, buyers typically hold the negotiating power, obviously. Here's the chart. 37% more home sellers than buyers. So it's up to 36.8 right there. I mean, it is the biggest in records dating back over a decade. Maybe they should say, like, since records were, maybe this is the first time this record was kept. But yeah, number of home buyers hits the second lowest level on record. So there's the disparity between home sellers and buyers. There's 1.96 million home sellers, and there's 1.44 million home buyers. So there will be some homes that don't sell if they're not priced right. I mean, I have some phenomenal listings that are just sitting, and they have people interested. People are thinking about it. but they're not pulling the trigger. So, strongest buyers market are in Texas and Florida, while the strongest sellers markets are in the tri-state area. Where's the tri-state area? Is that like Michigan? Where is it? New York?
I think it's New York, New Jersey,
Indiana,
Connecticut.
Ohio.
No, it's not
That's
Indiana and
tri-state.
Ohio.
No,
No, Indiana. Look it up.
Tri-state's
That's not
New
a
Jersey.
That's not a tri-state area.
Connecticut, New York, New Jersey.
There it
Yeah,
is. There it is.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you very
Tri-state
much.
Indiana. Come on. Indiana, Utah. Yeah, no, that's not tri-state. You're funny. San Francisco is now balanced. There you go, San Fran. Relocation. Gal sits before. She said sits before time over there. San Fran is balanced. All right, you'll go see all that stuff on the Redfin, Red Rocket. The U.S. housing market is stuck with sales and listings barely budging. That's what we're seeing too. Sales and
Is somebody eating chips,
Okay, I got
or
it.
is that the new background music?
No, that's not it. Mia,
Uh,
mute your microphone. There you go. All right. So the U.S. housing market is plateauing. I think I predicted, I'll have to go back and look, but I think I predicted a plateau. And here we are. So impending sales, homes sold, new listings, and median sale price all plateauing after the crazy spike in 2021. And then the crazy drop in 2023. Interesting.
well, if you look at 2022, rates went from 4% in January to 8% in October. So looking back, that was, hindsight 2020 is clear to see what the event was.
One of the interesting things I'm noting on this chart, the pending home sales, you had a huge pop in April of 2021 up and a huge drop in November of 2022. Okay, that reflects that interest rate difference. It happened on the homes sold. It happened on the new listings. But you know the thing that didn't really drop that much? Median sale price. In that April of 2023, even in the big dip of November of 2022 that we were just seeing over here, right? No, it was 2023. So even in the dip of 2023, we are not seeing a giant dip in the median sale price. So if this dip was more extreme, I bet the market we would currently be in today would feel a lot more balanced. But instead it feels off because this didn't happen. So I think now this sale price thing has to happen in order for it to feel right with everything else. Existing home sales are also flattening out. There's a big chart there. 4.24.
What do you think? What percentage do you think that dip is going to be?
I don't know. I mean, right now we're seeing 10.
Yeah.
Could we see more? Yeah. Do people feel like they were crazy during that time period, paying way over what they should? Yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of us said that during that time. But if they wanted to move, that's what they had to pay. But those home prices are now a year and a half out, a year out, and now we're slowly going down and down and down. So,
well, when you think about the appreciation over the last 15 years, I wasn't on last week, but I'm surprised to hear that people are underwater because, I mean, you're only underwater if you just bought 2 years ago.
Well, here's an example. Last year, I did a comparative market analysis for a client, and they did, we could have listed their home last year for $220, felt good about it, and now they're at $215. And they're like, why did it go down? I'm like, well, the home sales around you are less. Like, there's nothing I can do, but I'm just telling you what the numbers say. Theoretically, could we list it higher and sell it? Theoretically, yeah. But if we don't want to operate on theory, unfortunately, this is what the numbers say, and then we could go from there. But that's a good example of, this is how it's impacting. The people did not lose value in their house. They lost value in the potential sale of their property. But it was potential back then. It wasn't real. It wasn't realized.
Current value, right?
Yeah.
Current value based upon demand.
Right.
Period.
Tim, were you going to say something?
Yeah. Have you talked about these builder loans?
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, we did. We did like months ago. But
I mean,
go ahead.
Well, in markets where you've got multi-phase developments and hundreds of houses being built, I mean, we've got people that bought a house 2 years ago and got a great interest rate from the seller, from the builder, right?
Yeah.
And now, like, if they bought the house for 500, okay, maybe now it's worth 490, or maybe now it's even worth 480, but they're finding it's worth way less, and it's short sale time because the builders have kept their prices high by offering these great loans, and now regular sellers hit the market, and they can't offer what the builder was offering loan wise, and so they're finding like the $500,000 home has dropped to like 420 just to get the thing sold when life happens. And so I think it's a niche problem because it's just in markets that have these big developments, but those houses are underwater in a big way because the builders are artificially keeping their prices high by having, lower cost loans for borrowers.
I'm looking for my tinfoil. No, I put it here. I don't think I don't think it is niche at all. There were enough lenders teaming up with local builders to do that around the country. And I think there are a lot of people in that situation.
And it's not even teaming up with a lot of these builders. I could be wrong here, so definitely fact check me. Some of these builders like own the lending company too. So it's like they could afford to do things that no regular person, because even if I'm a seller there, right, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll offer a buy down, or I'll try to offer, like, it's so they were able to offer such low rates at such a low cost to them that there may be some litigation coming around that too at some point.
Some disclosure rules maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we talked about it in the context a couple of months ago of a lot of those homes coming due, those rates coming due. And it would be a funny parody for somebody to make. Somebody shout out Bob Tompkins. Where, back a couple of years ago, we said, marry the house, date the rate. There were a lot of agents.
Marry the house, date the rate.
Yeah. And a lot of us were saying, no, don't do that. But it would be a really funny parody for someone to be in a quote relationship with their rate, and it's one of the relationships with the crazy ex that won't let you get out, that's saying like, hey, I think it's time to move on, and the ex is like, no, it's not. I'm not going anywhere. We're not breaking up.
I think I pitched him that idea when I went down to do videos with him, but we couldn't make it work.
It would be a hilarious like, no, I'm not letting you out of this relationship. You cannot leave. We're not breaking up. We are breaking up. We're not breaking up. That would be so good. Anyway, somebody ping him. He's got to do it.
And then she's like, well, we'll just sell the house. And they're like, guess what? You can't sell the house.
You can't sell the house. You sell the house and you still have me. Yeah. Ray hasn't changed much. All right. U.S. home prices, though, they're going up, guys. U.S. home prices are still going up. So we've got great news. As a matter of fact, they're up 0.3% in October. Yeah, that's right. 0.3%. So some would argue that's relatively flat. But on this chart that extends tenths of a percent to make it seem like it's way higher than it actually is, it looks good. But you extend this to, let's see what it is year over year. Year over year?
What's the margin of error on this?
2%? yeah, probably. So, yeah. But houses are still going up, quote unquote. Home price gains slow. I'm going to talk for just a brief second at the end of this call about inflation. But I got two more articles hit real fast. Mortgage rates hit the highest level in a month, pushing loan demand down 5%. Oh, wait, hang on. Mortgage rates rose for the third consecutive week, causing demand from both current homeowners and potential home buyers to drop. Do you remember when Ray said before the Fed lowered the rate that now was the time to go ahead and take advantage of the low rate and the buyer's market, because in the future, after the rate drop, it could go up a little bit? What I wouldn't give for people to listen to me. Application activity over the last week was lower, with potential home buyers moving to the sidelines again, although there was a small increase in FHA purchase applicants, said Joel Kahn, MBA analyst. So applications to purchase a home fell 2%. All right, last article. Pending home sales slip as would-be buyers wait for lower rates and economic clarity. I'm really curious about the economic clarity, because I feel like economic clarity comes from the media. I don't think most people are looking at the economic data. I don't think they're looking at all the data going, oh, well, I don't know. Home prices haven't gone down. Inflation, right? Jobs. I just doubt that the regular consumer's doing that. I feel like most consumers are just looking at the news. Whatever the news and news headlines say, that's what they're going to go with. So I think if there was more clarity and more positive news stories about what is happening in the economy, I bet you would see more buyers returning to the market. But they're still going to be looking at lower rates. So as soon as rates would drop, they would be returning to the market. That's my belief. All right, let me talk for just a brief second about inflation, because a lot of people, I have some clients that are like, why hasn't anything changed? Because I thought now that inflation has been reversed, it's no longer 9%. I thought home prices and prices on stuff was going to go down. That's not exactly how it works. And a great example is this article that we just talked about, home prices increasing 0.3%. Home price gains slow. That's the news headline that you'll see in a time where home prices tend to level out. We don't want deflation. Do we want the prices on some stuff to go down? Yes. But deflation is not a good thing. We want inflation to return to 2% or less, in that range. And if it is at or near 2%, that's a good number, because that shows a growing economy, growing jobs market. If we get to a place where inflation becomes less than that, usually it becomes less than that because there's less jobs. There's people being laid off and fired like crazy. That is not a good situation. So some of the gains are going to stay there. Some of the price increases that we had on some goods will continue to be there as long as people are buying them. And why are people continuing to buy them? Because the economy is not in bad shape. Yes, things are more expensive, but it's not a bad economy. Incomes are up. They're not up drastically, but they are up. Jobs are okay. And everyone thought that the tariff would send our country into the Great Depression, and it hasn't. We're actually making a lot of money off the tariffs. And I think they're going to be sending money to like regular citizens, apparently. There's no economic policy that will turn on a dime. There's nothing the government can do in your life today that will make a difference today. Everything they do is like turning the Titanic. Ironic, it's Titanic. It's going to take a long time. But you are far more in control of your life. And it's like you're driving a speedboat in comparison. And if you wanted to make a turn or a switch, you could do that right now. So if we're all sitting around waiting on the government to do something that helps real estate, we just have to know they're not. They're not going to do it. Even if rates are decreased, like what we just saw, the Fed rates decreased, interest rates might increase. So what then? And if you're telling your buyers, just wait, the Fed is also going to lower rates next year, maybe he doesn't. And now you've given bad advice. If you're saying date the rate, and marry the house, you might be in a lawsuit in the future, but you might also just be giving really bad advice. Instead, find some ways to get people good deals today. Talk about negotiating. Talk about inspections. Talk about finding houses that smell like cat pee. That's what we used to do back in the day. Talk about living in a different area. I remember people used to say, oh, I want to live there, but I can't afford it, so I live over here. That was normal. You just lived in a different area. So I don't know where this waiting on the government to do everything came from, but I'm hearing it a lot in the real estate world from real estate agents. And traditionally, guys, we've been small business, independent entrepreneurs and operators that just do good work for our clients no matter what the government's doing. So don't wait on the government because they have their hands full with Epstein. And instead, just go to work. Find the deals for your clients. Let them negotiate their rate with their lenders. Don't tell them that the Fed is going to lower rates, because he may lower rates, but it could cause an increase in the interest rate for them, as we just saw. So be smart, know what's happening, understand the economy so that you could position your clients in a much better position moving forward. That's why we do this show, because so many people had no idea what was happening. They didn't know that mortgage rates hit the highest level. They didn't know that home prices still increase, because they were seeing the headlines, home price gains decrease or home price gains crash. And they're saying like, oh, everyone's losing home value. They're not. Homes are still going up. It's just at a slower pace. So this show is built to educate people on what's going on. And at the same time, we have to take this information and actually do something with it. You can't take the information and just wait. So is the economy going a better direction now? Yes. We don't have 9% inflation. That's a no-brainer. Yes, it's better now. Is it perfect? No. Do people still need to move? Yes. Is it still better in most cases for people to buy over rent? In most cases, if they're going to be there over 3 to 5 years, it's still better. Is it better if they have a 50-year mortgage? No. We ran that math last week. But a 30-year, yeah, it's okay. A 30-year is pretty good. So don't be so downtrodden by the real estate headlines that you hear. And I would encourage you to take that information and actually do something good with it from now on. So there you go. I spoke my piece. Thanks everybody for listening to the show. That's all I've got this week. Hopefully y'all like the background music. I don't know if y'all could hear it or not. I've been testing it. So please drop a comment and let me know. Thanks to all of you for listening. Thanks for jumping on the call. All of you in the clubhouse. Thanks, Tim, out there for listening. Glad you're listening. Could jump on.
Oh, we can hear the music, Ray.
Oh, you can hear this music, I know. But could you hear the other music that was just kind of under it a little bit?
I could hear it. I liked it.
Oh, you liked it? Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, I could. I thought it was Mike.
I like it. I like it. I think I'll keep it. So, all right. Thanks everybody for joining. I will see y'all next week. Next week is next week? Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving Eve. But Glennda's still
Thanksgiving Eve. Everybody's traveling.
I will not see you next week. Next week, I'll have a special show that releases that shows you a little bit of behind the scenes. I'll probably release that on Wednesday. It'll be news up to Tuesday of next week. Just to kind of show you how I come up with the show. I think I've done it before, and I released it once without audio. So I'll do it again for you guys. So thanks, everyone. I will see you live in 2 weeks, but I'll release something for you next week. Bye, everybody.
Hi. Thank you, Ray.